Hello my dear friends, today we continue with our chapter 1 of Geography, Resources and Development. So, having learnt about land, do you associate soil to be an integral part of land, children? Can we think about land without soil or soil without land? That's a question you all will certainly probe. So now we will learn about the soil resource. Children, remember, soil is a living resource. The process of soil formation is called pedogenesis. Remember, it takes millions of years to form soil up to a few centimeters in depth. Factors like relief, parent material, bedrock, climate, vegetation and other forms of life and time are important factors influencing the formation of the soil. If you look at the diagram of the soil formation, you will significantly be able to identify the 4 different horizons of soil. Do try to reproduce the diagram by drawing or sketching and develop the skill of drawing the diagrams. Also, try to understand and learn what are the various layers of the soil. Do you know various forces of nature such as change in the temperature, action of running water, wind and glacial activities, and the activities of decomposers also influence the soil formation. Chemical and organic changes which take place in the soil are equally important. Soil also consists of organic, the humus, and the inorganic materials. Dear students, we will be using the map of India showing the major soil types. You can all refer to the school Bhuvan, NCERT, to refer to this map. It offers some very useful and interesting map skill activities. Please explore school Bhuvan. So let us take up these soils, and the first soil we'll be discussing will be the alluvial soils. The alluvial soils are the most widely spread and most important soils. You know, the entire northern plains are made of alluvial soil. The alluvial soils have been deposited by the 3 major Himalayan river systems, namely the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra. Children, try to find out, where do you find the alluvial soils? So let us find out the distribution of these soils. They extend in Rajasthan and Gujarat through a narrow corridor, and also found in the eastern coastal plains, specifically in the deltas of the Mahanadi, the Krishna and the Kaveri rivers. Alluvial soils are classified on the basis of size of their grains or components. It consists of various proportions of sand, silt and clay. In the inlet towards the river valleys, soil particle size appears bigger. These soils are coarse in the upper reaches of the valley, that is, near the place of the break of slope. Coarser deposits are common in the Piedmont plains, which are known as Duars, Chos and the Tarai. Do you know that alluvial soils are classified on the basis of their age too? These soils are called the old alluvial and the young alluvial. Old alluvial soils are the Bangar soils. The young alluvial soils are the Khadar soils. Bangar soils are high and rich in concentration of kankar nodules and therefore less fertile. The Khadar soils has finer particles, more fertile than the Bangar soils. The second soil we'll discuss are the black soils. Well, the black soils appear black in color and hence the name black. They are also known as regur soils as they are ideal for growing cotton. So they are called the black cotton soil too. Formation of these soils is controlled by the climatic conditions and parent rock material. Where do we find the black soil? The distribution of black soil is typical of the Deccan Trap, the basalt region. This region is spread over northwest Deccan Plateau and it is made up of lava flows. The black soil covers the plateaus of Maharashtra, Saurashtra, Malwa, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. They extend in the southeast direction along the Godavari and the Krishna valleys. What are the characteristics of the black soil, children? Black soils are made up of extremely fine, that is clay material. Have you ever held and felt the texture of the soil in the areas wherever you are living? To take up this activity. Black soils have a high moisture holding capacity. They are rich in soil nutrients like calcium carbonate, magnesium, potash and lime. Have you heard about red and yellow soils? You must be wondering, why the name as by the colors red and yellow? The red soils develop on crystalline igneous rocks in the areas of low rainfall in the eastern and southern parts of the Deccan Plateau. Yellow and red soils are also found in the parts of Odisha, Chhattisgarh and southern parts of the Middle Ganga plains. They are also found along the pediment zone of the Western Ghats. These soils develop a reddish color due to the diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rocks. You know, children, these soil look or appear yellow when they occur in a hydrated form. Hence the name red and yellow soil. Interesting, right? Okay, so let us proceed to learn about the laterite soils. I'm sure many of you living in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh will instantly identify with the distribution of these soils. Yes, they are found there. They are also found in the hilly areas of Odisha and Assam. What are the characteristics of the laterite soils? Laterite soils are suitable for cultivation with adequate doses of manures and fertilizers. After adopting appropriate soil conservation techniques in the hilly areas of the states of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, the soil is very useful for growing the two important beverages of India, tea and coffee. The red laterite soils in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala are ideal for crops like cashew. We now then move on to explore the arid soils. Have you heard about the arid soils? Arid soils range from red to brown in color. These are generally sandy in texture. Arid soils are saline in nature. In some areas, the salt content is very high. And you know, common salt is obtained by evaporation of water. Children, due to the dry climate, high temperature, and the rapid evaporation, arid soils are low in humus and moisture. Do you know, the lower horizon of arid soils are occupied by conker as the calcium content increases with depth. In fact, the conker layer formations in the bottom of horizons restrict the infiltration of water. Thus, it is only through proper irrigation that the arid soils have been made cultivable in states like Rajasthan, specifically the Western Rajasthan. Children, we will be taking up an interesting activity. I am sure all of you have been experimenting with your own little gardens. You have held the soil in your hand, probably felt. So today I am going to show you a sample of the soil, and I want all of you to identify and name this soil. How do we classify this soil to be the one that you identify? The next soil we'll be discussing are the forest soils. The forest soils vary in texture according to the mountain environment where they are found. They are loamy and silty in valley. These soils are coarse-grained in the upper slopes. What are the characteristic features of the forest soil? They are acidic and have low humus content, particularly in the snow-clad areas of the Himalayas. Do you know why? As these regions, the soil experiences denudation. Forest soils are fertile in the lower parts of the valleys, particularly on the river terraces and alluvial fans. Dear friends, you all are aware that soil is the most important renewable natural resource. We will now learn about soil erosion and the various causes of the soil erosion and its types. What is soil erosion? Soil erosion refers to the denudation of the soil cover and the subsequent washing down. The process of soil formation and erosion go on simultaneously in a balanced way. However, this balance sometimes is disturbed due to human actions like deforestation, overgrazing, construction, and mining. Natural forces like wind, glacier, and water lead to erosion. What are the various types of soil erosion? When the running water cuts through the clayey soils and make deep channels, it is called the gully erosion. The land becomes unfit for cultivation and is known as the bad land. In Chambal Basin, such lands are called ravines. Sheet erosion is the other type of soil erosion. Sometimes water flows as a sheet over large areas down a slope. Wind blows loose soil off flat or sloping land known as the wind erosion. Children, do you know that what are the causes of soil erosion? Let us now learn about them. Do you know soil erosion is caused due to defective methods of farming? Well, plowing in a wrong way, that is up and down the slope, forms channels. And these channels aid in the quick flow of the water, leading to soil erosion. Human activities like deforestation, overgrazing, construction are also causes of soil erosion. You have already learnt about them, right? Natural forces like wind, glacier and water lead to soil erosion. Try to recall how these agents have led to the soil erosion by revisiting the lesson. Dear students, soil indeed is an important resource and we must ensure to conserve this rich resource. Shall we learn and familiarize ourselves with various soil conservation methods? Contour plowing is an important method of soil conservation, as the plowing along the contour lines can decelerate the flow of water down the slopes. Terrace farming, where steps can be cut out on the slopes, making terraces, is an effective method. It restricts erosion. Do you know that terrace farming is a well-developed method in the western and central Himalayas? Many of you living in these areas are all already familiar of this method. The third method we identify is the strip cropping. In strip cropping, large fields are divided into strips. Strips of grasses are left to grow between the crops to break the force of the wind. Shelter belts refers to the planting of trees to create shelter, and this also breaks the force of wind. Rows of such trees are called shelter belts. In Western India, shelter belts have proved very effective in the stabilization of sand dunes and in stabilizing the desert in the Western India. Children, as you have learnt about various resources, land as a resource, soil as a resource, or anything that is available to us, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, is a resource. Let us all join our hands together to value these resources, as they are meant not just for us, but for our future generations too.